Om Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvabhignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada येनाक्षरसमाम्न्यायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम् वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थः प्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ Namaste everyone. So let me share the screen with you. So I had a challenging start to the class. So I pulled up Mundaka Upanishad verse that we're covering in today's class. We covered in last class a little bit too. And almost in all the Upanishad mantras, there's Visarga Sandhi, right? Whether we like it or not. That's why we're studying this, right? We're studying this because it helps us understand, right, how to break up the words, how to understand what the Upanishad is trying to say, what Vedanta is trying to say, right? That's always what we want to connect to. So here's, more practical, here's more like real life practice, but this is hard because sometimes we don't know the vocabulary, so we don't know where that's going to break. So that's okay if this was a little bit difficult. So I did highlight some words there that kind of gave some clues where they would be. And so the first one we see Agnir Murdha, right? Agnir Murdha. Right? This, you see that ear. So, right, we know that if we pull up our chart, when I have E on the left side, I'm going to look in this bottom down here, right? If it's part of Ich, Agni. So originally I assume it was Agnihi, right? Agnihi. And then you see that Rakara, that Repa, right? That Rakara there, that Repa. So Agnir Murdha. So it was Agnihi Murdha, right? Two separate words there. So that's a Gurur Brahma Sandhi, correct, right? Gurur Brahma. So that when you see that, like when you see that Ra in the middle of a word, that's usually because of that Visarga Sandhi that's applying there, okay? So then we see the second highlighted place we see is Dishashrotre. Now, they didn't specifically apply it there, but when you're pronouncing it, you say Dishashrotre, right? So there we on the left side, we have Shakara. We have Akara. We have vowel Akara, right? Before the Visarga, and we have Shakara on the right. So when you have that, what we call, right? We did this in our last class. When Visarga is followed by Shakara, it basically will optionally can mirror that, right? So you can say Dishashrotre. Like, yeah. Shanti, 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 like that. So that's the Shanti Sandhi. Okay, and then we have Vag Virvitascha. So this is the same thing. We also learned this in our last class. When you have that any vowel that's preceding and you have that hard consonant chakara, right? When you get that hard consonant chakara, then you're going to get one of the shas. So you have to get the sha that's going to match that. So cha is the shakara that matches that is that dento shakara. Sorry, that palatal shakara. Sha. So vagurvitascha. So this is what we call ramascha sandhi. But all of these names aren't really important. So if you don't remember the name, but you know the rule, then that's great, right? You can pull up your chart in the Sandhi book to help you with that. So you can look at that whole Sandhi chart, right? Where it has all the things. This chart, but I don't have the whole chart here. So that's why I'm saying maybe you want to pull it up. The third one, that fourth one, we see Vayuf Prano, right? So we have Visarga followed by Pakara. So you get that smiley sad. There, right? So you get the smiley sad and you get that fa sound. Vayuf Prano. This is what we call Punaf Punaha Sandhi. Vayuf Prano. Now see, like they didn't necessarily change the symbol, but when you're pronouncing it, you can apply that rule there. Here, the words are really he, esha. So between esha and sarva bhutantaratma, when you have esha is an exception for most of the rules, right? Esha and saha, when you have a following, then it becomes so, just like Shivoham Sandhi. But everything else that follows it, the Visarga is going to drop. So if you're looking at that chart, it's all the way at the bottom of the chart. So it just drops. So Esha Sarva Bhutantaratma. It doesn't really matter what's following it. So we wouldn't say Esha Sarva Bhutantaratma, for example. Okay. So this is, you can see how we use this throughout the Mundaka Upanishad. And we'll do some more practice in a moment here, okay? Let's chant our Maheshwara Sutra. Om A I Un Rilik E Ong I Ouch Haya Varata Lan Nyama Garnanam Jabhanya Gadadash Jabagadadash Kapha Chatata Chatatav Kapai Shashasar Hal Iti Maheshwarani Sutrani. Okay. So there's one question here before we. So what we can do is you can you can flip open your Sandhi book. At the end of the Visarga Sandhi section, there's all that practice. It says practice all the Visarga Sandhi. So you can pull that up. And Harprasad ji, you have a question?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Mahodaya, can you please go back to the previous screen in which you show Yeshaha? No. Heisha Sarva Bhutanta Ratma. Now, there is, in the chanting, there is no change at all, right? It does not become anything else, just like this.
Yeah, so the Sandhi is already applied there.
Where is the Sandhi?
So it used to be Eshaha Sarva Bhutantaratma.
So it is, if it is Eshaha Sarva, it is Eshas, right?
No, so if you look at the chart, let me see if I can pull that up. So Esha and Saha are an exception to the rule. So when they have anything except for Akara following, the Visarga will drop, no matter what.
Oh, I see. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why that's like that. So that's a good, so So you would be correct if it was any other word, but it happens to be eshaha or saha. So then that Visarga is going to drop there.
Okay, got it.
And Neelamaji, go ahead.
No, this word Sarva Bhutantaratma, it has a Sandhi as well, right? Sarva Bhutan plus Antaratma.
Yeah, but so it's a compound word. So that's a little bit slightly different.
Okay.
So, but the words, so there's few words, right? Sarva, Bhuta, Antar, Atma, right?
Atma.
But they're all meaningfully connected to each other. So not really a Sandhi there. We'll talk about, I know I keep saying we'll talk about compounds, but I know it's because sometimes you don't know when there's a compound and when there's a Sandhi rule applying. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. But we'll talk about that word in Upanishad class today. Okay. Okay. So let me switch screens here. So this is basically our last class with Visarga Sandhi. So this is why I wanted to pull this up. So let's just do a quick review, like what we were doing right there. And we'll look at some examples, and then we'll go on and we'll learn one more new Sandhi. But I just wanted to make sure that we're being comprehensive here, right? So, the most difficult is when you have a preceding and a following, right? Because then you have these three changes. Right, so you always want to look at what's purva first, because if it's akara, right, and it's a vowel or a soft consonant, you're going to have three different rules being applied there, right? So when you have that, that's when you have the most number of rules. When you and so you have and shivoham, and any vowel other than akara that then it will drop, and hush. Then you get that O, right? So these both become O, but different things following. Hush is a soft consonant, right? So this is probably our most complicated section right here. So even if we look at, sorry, let's just keep going across, and then I'll pull up the exercises. And then when you have, right, or any vowel really, followed by a hard consonant, right? When you have ka, it's going to be that jifwa muliya, right? Or you're going to have that pa, and it's going to be upadmaniya. So that fa sound, fa, punaha. When you have sa, sorry, when you have these, right? Sorry, when you have any vowel preceding and you have sha, you get that shakara, right? So like Ramasha, we saw that in the Mundaka Upanishad verse there too. When you have this sha, then you get that shakara, sa, sakara. So these are hard consonants. So you need to be able to recognize hard consonants versus soft consonant. Now that's a hard skill to learn, right? That took me a long time. So we need to keep doing that identification. Is this a hard consonant or a soft consonant? And so it's helpful to have that alphabet chart open in the front of the Sandhi book, or even you can pull up Maheshwara Sutra because it listed there. But for me, the having that alphabet chart is really helpful to kind of identify soft versus hard consonants. So, right, so when we have akara, right, when it's a plus when it's a visarga akara, it becomes O, right? So ramo asati. Ramosti. And then when you have a followed by any vowel other than that short akara, then it's going to be dropped, right? So like Rama agachati, Rama iti. right? And then the third part of this chart is a plus a soft consonant, right? So we have, let's find a soft consonant. Can you tell me in the chat, what is the first soft consonant that is following the akara and visarga? Which number? Which number? Yeah, so we got it in the chat. So number 14, ga, right? Ka, ka are hard consonants, then ga is where you start that soft consonant. So this becomes Ramo gacchati. Okay, now what about the hard consonants? Rama, Ramah katayati. Ramaha plus chalati. Ramaha plus chalati, right? We want to, that's a hard consonant. So it's going to be one of these three. Now, cha, cha, sha are palatal, so you're going to pick that palatal shakara. So that cha, you always are going to see that sha. So ramash, you're going to see that a lot in Upanishad because you see cha. Cha means and. C-A, right? Cha means and. So you see that a lot of times. So you're going to get that shakara there. Okay? And then we have here we have Rama, Ramaha plus tikate. Ramaha plus tikate with which sakara? It's the sakara that, yeah, points up. Ramash tikate. Yeah, I see that. So nice job. You have to make a special face for Ramash tikate. Ramash tikate. Yeah. So that's exactly right. So where your tongue goes for ta, that's where your tongue goes for sha. Ramash. It should already be there. That makes it easier to pronounce. Okay, so I know this is like Visarga Sandhi on very fast, but we're just doing a little bit of a review. Ramaha namati, that's also na is a soft consonant, right? So Ramo namati, like namo namaha Sandhi. Namo namaha, Ramo namati. Okay. Let's look at this one. Ramaha shankate. Optionally, it becomes, say with me, Ramashankate. Yeah, you get that extra shakara optionally. Okay, any one of these that you're not sure about or any difficulties with? These take practice, honestly, and then so we're never gonna leave, we're leaving Visarga Sandhi technically, but we're going to see it every time we're in class because it's going to come in Mundakopanishad class. So I'll try to remind us of some of the Sandhis and continue this practice. We don't lose it, right? Because this is just purely practice. It's like math problems. You have to keep doing it. But this chart, really, honestly, if you have a notebook or if you have a book, I would even take a picture of this, print it out, and stick it on top of your book. Or on maybe not the top, maybe the back, or in a notebook. This chart is pretty helpful. And eventually we kind of see it enough and we remember the rules that we know, okay, when there's going to be 3 columns. 3 columns before we get to hard consonants. So if you kind of remember like that, then you'll know that what to look out for. Okay. Let's go to the new part of our lesson. I want to make sure that we're learning something new today. So we're going to go after, so right after you keep flipping in your book, in the beginning, we'll see topic 5, which is vowel Sandhi. Right after Visarga Sandhi, you'll see vowel Sandhi. If you can't find it, you can look in the index too, right? Beginning of vowel sandhi. Okay, so there's three main sandhi groups that we talk about in this level, right? We talk about Visarga Sandhiḥ, then we talk about vowel Sandhiḥ, and then we talk about consonant Sandhi. Actually, there's no more Sandhis in that, right? So Visarga Sandhi, vowel Sandhi, and consonant Sandhi. So this is part 2 of our Sandhi book. So we're advanced students. Okay, so vowel, the word vowel, we see the word ach. Ach is a pratyahara, right? Pratyahara means that it's our little shortcut code from the Maheshwara Sutra, right? Starting with a, going to cha, ach. So ach, by saying ach, we include all of the vowels. See how efficient these abbreviations, these pratyaharas are? Panini Muni was like the original coding expert, right? Is able to give a lot of information in small bite sizes. So instead of saying vowel, we can say ach. So ach sandhi is vowel sandhi. So what we mean by ach sandhi is it's a phonetic change when a vowel is followed by another vowel. Okay? There will always be a vowel preceding, so it's a vowel, when a vowel meets a vowel, that's ach sandhi. Right? Sandhi means combination. So when you have a combination of two vowels. Okay. Now, there's one thing to note is that someone asked this in the chat also. There are 9 vowels according to Maheshwara Sutrani. So you can count them. But we have to remember that the varieties of vowels, short and long, are represented by those 9. Okay? So short and long are represented by those 9. So when I say akara, I'm also including akara. When I say ikara, I'm including ikara. Okay? So these all can have, these can have their long forms. Note that these 4 are already considered long. Okay, so the diphthongs are already considered long vowels. Okay. And as per my knowledge, we don't have a long li. Okay, well, we do have long versions of these 4. And we very rarely see this vowel here. That li. So if you look at this, there's this chart at the beginning of the book. And this is very similar to Visarga Sandhi chart, that you have the preceding letter is in this column. Preceding letter is also called purva. Right? Purva shabda, the previous sound. And when you see para means that which is following, or right, that which is following. So purva means preceding or that which is before, and para is that which is after or following. So note how we see these 9 vowels here, and we see these 9 vowels here. So now we're going to have any combination of all of them. Right? And note, right, again, it's more complicated when you have akara. which is purva. Yeah, we do see, oh yeah, so we don't have any rules when you have l preceding, but you have when it's following. Okay. This lit you only see one place here because there's no other rules. You don't really see it. There's no other rules to be applied except for that one place. Okay. So yeah, so that's correct. So here you see 8 and here you'll see 9. Note how then they also give these pratyaharas. Ik means I, U, R, right? Lik, right? So I, U, R, lik, except we don't include L. So it's these 3. Ang is A, O, I. Sorry, it's just A and O. Let's look at our chart. I just want to make sure. Yeah, Ang, right? Ang is just A and O, Aong. And then we see H is everyone from here to O. A, O, I, ouch. So H. Okay. That's just a little bit of an overview of this vowel sandhi. We're going to learn this first one, which is our first sandhi is this diagonal right here. When you have, so let's just go to it. I don't want to confuse us by the chart. So you can go to the next page. You can repeat after me. Savarna dirgha sandhihi. Savarna dirgha sandhihi. Okay. When you have I'll tell you what this means after we look at the rule, because then it'll make more sense. When you have a simple vowel, and that simple vowel is immediately followed by a similar simple vowel, they become one long vowel. Okay, so if we look at the simple vowels are just a, I, U, and R. We don't see L, right? Because, yeah, we don't see L here. So a, I, U, R. Because there's no long version of L, so it doesn't really apply here. So when you have each of these meeting something that is similar to it, then it becomes long. So when I have a plus a, I get a. So vedaha arthaha becomes vedarthaha. So say this with me. Veda arthaha becomes vedarthaha. You have and they are similar sounds. They're similar vowels, and those similar vowels become long version. It can also be a and a, right? Will become a. It can be any form. It can be a and a. It can be a and a. Any combination, permutation will always become this akara. So then when we get, same thing with E. When you have E and E, you get long E. E and E, you become long E. So the example, asti and iti becomes astiti. astiti. There's a sandhi there, right? It's asti and iti, but together they'll be astiti. Right? If you're saying it, it's going to make more sense to just combine those sounds. Then you can chant faster. U and u, same thing, becomes u. So su uktam, suktam. So we see this. So for example, where do we see this? We see this in Ramayana, right? Rama, ayanam, Ramayanam. That's the story of Rama. Okay, so Savarna Dirgha Sandhi. So Sandhi is the meeting of Savarna. Savarna means similar sounds. Similar sounds. Okay, so similar sounds are like, for example, short akara and short akara, or short akara and long akara. Okay, these are similar sounds. So it's a meeting of savarna, similar sounds, and they become dirgha, they become long. Dirgha means a long vowel. It means long, right? So this is a meeting of savarna becomes long. So savarna dirgha sandhi. You see this right here. This is explaining the Panini Sutra. So we don't really need to look at this. This won't come yet. This will come later on. Okay. So there's a question, is it not Ramaha plus Ayanam? So then if it was Ramaha plus Ayanam, it would become Ramoyanam. Ramoyanam. So it's not like that. And the reason is, again, because it's, okay. So let me write a little rule here. When you have a compound word, okay? So the word is really Ramasya and then Ayanam. Okay? So these are two separately meaningful words, right? Ayanam means the story or path, Ramasya of Rama. Okay? Now I want to make a compound word. When I want to make a compound word, I get rid of any suffix. So then it becomes Rama Ayanam. And then Sandhi can be applied after that. Ramayanam. So yeah, so that's why we see in compound, Sandhi can be applied within a compound. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's just look at this last one here. When you have r, you see this r. So you can have, they have l there, but we don't see any examples of that. Okay, we don't see any examples. So we really just pay attention to this r and r. Then you get that long r. Actually, now it's coming back to me. L, it's funny, the savarna of L is also this, is any three of these. So savarna of L is also R. So when you have L meeting R or L, yeah, it's true that you get long R. So this is correct, actually. It came back to me that savarna of L is those three. I mean, is R or L. There's no long version of L. But R is a savarna. It's a similar sound according to the gods who decide these things. R is a similar sound to L. And so when you L and R or L and L, then they become that long R. You're supposed to roll your tongue. R. I can't really roll my tongue to make that long R. So Pitru, Rinam, Pitrurnam. Okay, we'll stop here. So the homework is to look at these exercises, right? They're pretty simple. They won't take very long, but like, for example, Iha Amutra becomes Iha Mutra. Iha Mutra, right? Number 3, Param Atma becomes Paramatma. The homework is this exercise to apply Dirgha Sandhi between the words and also resolving the Dirgha Sandhi. Okay, we'll stop here. I'll take questions in between. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.